Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Because of the solo adventure of the Doomsday Project puzzles coming out, we are behind a little bit on this Friday. I need to get a victory with a major shaman, and then I'm going to hold on to playing the Monster Hunt bosses until later. There's a lot to do with the European and Asian accounts also. So I just tried to play the Tempo Mage, that didn't work. I don't think I ever want to play this Murloc deck, even though I kind of love it, but it's not an HS replay deck, and for that reason I really don't want to bring out even a fan favorite to me, the Murloc decks, which I did enjoy playing quite a bit. Like, it seems like some of these HS replay decks have better high win-loss ratios. Also, since I have so much news to cover, any game that just looks like garbage, I'm just gonna kind of skip and close the tab on Steam, and I am going to leave games that came out on Steam for later. So, for instance, I'm looking at a game called Retro Snake Adventures. It looks like it's an MS Paint looking Snake game. The only slight difference here is you're playing Snake on different areas with blocks in the middle instead of just squares. But yeah, it's pretty ugly. So I'm gonna just close that and move forward. Maybe that is what I should always be doing, in all honesty. Let's see. I'm gonna play this and see what happens. There we go. Let's see, we have a Your Gamer article. The original Luigi's Mansion now has a 3DS release date. I would have preferred that Luigi's Mansion come out on, say, the on the Switch, but you know, I played some of Luigi's Mansion. I may have just rented it for a weekend though. I'm not sure I played it all the way through. I feel like there was a Wii release of it too, or a sequel was either released on the DS or something. A lot of these old Nintendo games need to find their way, certainly, to the new consoles. Let's see, is there a release date here? Yeah, it's coming out the 19th of October for the 3DS. See, and at this point, I'm not even sure if I could get a 3DS really cheap and just like a whole collection of games. I'm not sure that there would be any point in my life where I would just have enough time and desire to play those games. Let's hit this and then hit this and then play this and then return. Let's see, moving on, PC Gamer has an article. Portal After Hours mod episode 1 launched on Steam Workshop. Updated. Let's see. So, Portal After Hours is a mod for Portal. Twitter is asking me to agree to Twitter cookies. Like, I think for the most part, Portal After Hours is really just a... Let's see, what does it say? After writing it's a 20 map, 30 puzzle. Nope. Let's see. It's not even what it's. They're describing something completely different there. A different game. Elemental. Do I happen to have an elemental? No. I don't know if I'd ever really want to play somebody else's mod of Portal 2 particularly. Like, maybe there's a small bit of hope in me that Portal 3 might come out. I don't know how you make Portal 3, and I mean, the smart thing to do is to say we're made Portal 3 because we found something here new and interesting we could do, and we didn't feel like this would fit into the Half-Life 3 genre or area or style of gameplay. Let's kill things. But playing people's mods also is just hard to do. That's why I thought it was really cool when they announced that they were going to take that Skyrim mod, the Secret City, the Buried City, or whatever it's called, that was really good, and they're going to make it its own separate game, because once it's its own separate game that's being sold, it has a level of relevancy where I can actually talk about it and potentially play it and cover it. Where if something's just a mod, that gets kind of left with just mod makers or mod YouTubers who cover that. Moving on, Your Gamer has article, Sony reveals 4 new PlayStation 4 controller colors set for the UK, and Sunset Orange is one of them. So there's a blue camo, a berry blue, which looks awful, a sunset orange, which is alright looking but not great.
Winter is here.
Just keep on playing things.
Justice shall prevail.
I keep not wanting to attack when this is almost certainly an explosive trap. And then copper. None of these PlayStation 4 controllers look particularly good as far as skins. The Giant Bomb after show had one of their fans ask them what you would want to see added to a controller, like an Xbox One controller. And frankly, there is this element there where there's not too much more to do. I think, particularly for the PlayStation 4, the left bumps and then left triggers, and having some games want you to hit both of those at the same time should never be allowed. Let's see. I'm gonna just do it. Yep, explosive trap. The one thing I could think about having being added is not the PlayStation 4's touchscreen, which has been horribly underused, or the microphone, speaker in the controller, which really hasn't been used that well either. But I would have really enjoyed if at some point they added a scroll wheel, like a mouse, to select weapons. Something like that. Maybe just a bump nub up one way and up the other. I think when you think about input devices, unless you're going to have some foot pedals, which seems awkward and probably not a smart move to have in games, you could certainly offer it as an accessory. Like a suck, sip, sip, blow type mouth controllers, again, a thing for paraplegics. You wouldn't need something like that, but little nubs on the keyboard to scroll up and down. One of the things that we in first-person shooters that have been a problem is deciding which weapon you're supposed to collect, and so if there was maybe a scroll wheel, maybe an 8-way directional thing, I think there is definitely an argument to get rid of the D-pad in favor of an 8-way directional controller. Let's see. Summon a copy of a friendly minion. Deal 16 damage among all minions, or bloodlust. Like maybe a way to spin something a little bit more. I still don't like the way the PlayStation 4 has the D-pad at the top left and then the 2 thumbsticks. It's more symmetrical certainly, but it's not what I'm used to. I think we probably will see maybe some Alexa support. So if there was a microphone in controllers with noise canceling functions, so I don't know, like a Bluetooth stream of audio would be playing, like a Bluetooth passive stream of audio would be playing from a controller, and then maybe that could be played out, but maybe it couldn't, and then at a certain point you would just have like some kind of voice connection and to tell the game console to do whatever you want it to do. But I'm not sure exactly how you do that in the gameplay, because you basically need the audio to continue playing while no victory there. I think for funness sake we need to bring back the Murlocs. Bring back the Murlocs. But yeah, it's really hard to think of any kind of input that you need. When you think about keyboards and steering wheels and like there's a bunch of buttons that have gotten added to steering wheels over the past few decades, but they haven't done anything amazingly. Like a jog dial where you spin the dial one way or the other might be an interesting idea, but I don't know where you put that on the controller. So the only thing I would say is next consoles that come out, they probably should do some experimenting. There should be something new in the controller. Or even now they should do some experimenting, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Xbox 2 or whatever it's called comes out with the exact same style of controller with very little changed. And of course, the best thing you could improve on any controller is just connectivity, durability,
We have many
so that things don't wear down. Moving on with news instead of just going on. I don't even know if that's kind of a laid back rant, if I'm gonna call it a rant at all. Going on a tangent, that'd be, I guess, the best thing to call it. Eurogamer has an article, Twitch criticized for pulling ad-free viewing from Twitch Prime. Quote, this just looks like corporate greed being sold as looking out for the little guy. Twitch also pulled the 20% discount when you pre-order video games. Amazon.com did that, and Amazon.com owns Twitch. So yeah, you're not in a good position there either. Let's do this, and then this, and then probably could have just cast a spell. Shigeru Miyamoto, the known as the creator of Mario, came out in one of his press conferences or something and said companies need to be careful not to be too greedy. That's me paraphrasing from the articles I barely looked at, so if I do have an article to mention that, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, on one hand you have Nintendo, a rather extremely greedy company, telling people not to be greedy, and on the other hand you have Twitch being greedy. Alright. I have one hope. I need to probably kill... Wow. Okay. Everything. I'll just kill everything.
Amazing.
Let's see. Gamatsu has an article. Twin Mirror is episodic. First episode launches early 2019. So Twin Mirror, the Don't Nod from the creators of Life is Strange game that is heavily built around the concept of is heavily built around the fandom of Twin Peaks, is coming out in first episode in 2019. The weird thing here, I guess, is that years later, with Telltale wrapping up the Walking Dead series and at least kind of committing to stop using their incredibly old Telltale tool. You have Don't Nod walking in here trying to tell a story. The weird thing though is if you... The two games I've covered of Don't Nod try to tell these really dramatic stories, but I don't think they succeeded in telling the stories at all. So... I don't know what you take with that, or from that. Okay. Play this. Here. Play this. Here. And play this here. Attack this. Gotta kind of attack with this one. So this must be like an ice block. Let's just close that. Okay, there's a game on Steam called Farjob, F-A-R-J-O-B. It looks like MS Paint level graphics, and for that reason, I'm gonna just close it in this accelerated coverage of news. I was defeated again. Man, bringing back the Murlocs was not the right move. Where are we supposed to be doing? One more victory mage or shaman. So we'll go back to Tempo Mage. I'm down to 19. And see, I really couldn't have chosen a worse time to decide to be silly and play Murlocs. If I'm gonna play Murlocs, I need to play them in Wild, or I need to do casual play only.
You asked for it.
Okay. I think the idea here is to start with 2 of these secret keepers. There's a game on Steam called Superplex Squares. It looks like garbage in this Windows 95 games. Oh, by the way, Windows 95 now apparently can be run inside Windows 10, and I assume a Hyper-V Hyper-V virtualization virtual machine. Also, maybe we'll get some more story on this, but Steam seems to have integrated the Wine emulator into Linux, so that basically any game they're saying will be playable. I think that's probably a huge overstatement, but I don't know. Steam may have been working on this for a very long time, and it is possible, although not 100% guaranteed, that they were able to develop some special technology to make sure that everything works really well. Inherently, I think you're going to run into the exact same problems that always run into a lot of people running Linux. Is a lot of people run Linux on computers that are incredibly underpowered and old, and therefore it might not be a simple issue of, oh, now you can play the newest and the greatest and best on your Linux running PC, because, well, technically it might run, it might need to run on something way more powerful than what you people actually have. Let's see. Gamasutra has some more screenshots of Resident Evil 2 details Claire Redfield. This remake, every time I see it, looks more interesting than it. Yeah, it just doesn't come off as a lazy remake of the previous, like Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 seemed to just be remaster after remaster, and I think Resident Evil 1 deserves a proper, let's just take the general story, being stuck in a house, and let's just change everything. Kind of already seen people do it. The Evil Within, for example, has a whole DLC section where you're inside of a house, and yeah, it certainly felt at least a little bit like Resident Evil 1. Well, from what I've seen, I actually haven't ever played Resident Evil 1 because it's kind of hard to play it with that tank controls. Moving on, Gematsu has an article, Close to the Sun has a Gamescom 2018 trailer and screenshot. This is from Storm in a Teacup. That's the name of the company for this Unreal Engine 4 powered survival horror game called Close to the Sun, which looks like a zombie game. And it looks like it's probably a rather dark zombie game too. Right. 4 damage to all minions. Maybe Close to the Sun has a little bit of Bioshock vibes to it. Maybe. It's a first person something. I don't know what though. It looks more like an adventure game than a shooter game, because there's no, well, frankly, yeah, there's just no thing. Right. I was to do this, and then do this, and then play this, and then draw this, and then play this. A lot of these Gamescom trailers are barely a minute long or so. So Close to the Sun does look interesting. It's due out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC in Q1 2019, but they're really not showing anything other than a teaser trailer. And that's like not enough to really interest me. Let's see. Darksider's Twitter account retweeting a lot of cosplayers and hype for Darksiders, which would make sense. I opened the Twitter account for some reason, but I think it was for just the Gamescom trailer, which I'd already seen, so let's move on. Deal 3 damage to enemy hero, restore 3. Yeah, next secret you play is, yeah, you managed to kill everything. That sucks. Like secret turn, play this turn. Your Gamer has an article, Assassin's Creed will take a year off in 2019. No big new game or spin-off due. There will be no new Assassin's Creed game released in 2019. Publisher Ubisoft is confirmed. It comes after 2017's Origins was praised for reinventing the series after taking a unique yearly break from the former annual franchise. And even though Origins was a year in between the last main game in that series, I don't know for 100% sure that there was an entire year of not Assassin's Creed content, because I'm pretty sure there was comic books, and there may have been a side game that came out in that time between, I guess, 2016 and 2017. And yeah, there's everybody I've heard talk about Assassin's Creed or well, Odyssey has basically said that there's still plenty of game in Origins to play if I wanted to play more of it. And when I look at the gameplay ideas in Odyssey, they're going in a very fantasy direction. They're having you ride across the ocean to different islands, which could also turn into a problem later on. Just because it might be terrible water levels. It feels a little bit more like a GTA game. Here we go, we've got a victory. And less like an Assassin's Creed game. When Origins got rid of the hidden blades and gave you different items and made it an RPG, there's some questionable things there. As far as just, is this even an Assassin's Creed game anymore, or is it just a RPG that happens to be set in the past? And in all honesty, they're probably just using the name Assassin's Creed for advertisement purposes and nothing else. As I said before, I'm gonna leave the monster hunt for later. I mean, frankly, that I may just do that off screen because it's boring and there's really nothing to do there. So now let's come over to the European account. Let's see. I think I've got one row. Probably want to get rid of this one. Watch and learn. Jeez, can I watch and learn this guy right now? It's important to get these watch and learns done and Challenge of Friends done pretty early because it will... I don't even know if I have to see him win, but I think this guy's gonna win anyways. So that gives me a break to cover more news. Gamma Sutra has an article, scammers are still trying to snag free games from indie devs. Quote, I have been the benefit of working for a lot of different indie devs, so I notice patterns that a dev who's only putting out their one game wouldn't see. And then there's a bunch of characters at the end of this quote, so I don't know why you would quote and then typo. What is this, a Gamma Sutra blog article type things? Let's see. Okay, watch and learn, done easy and quick. That really didn't give me a lot of time, a lot of free time. So basically, as I can figure, without reading this article from Gamma Sutra, as far as scammers trying to get free games, it's probably a little bit of a hard thing to call them scammers, because unless you can prove that they're asking for free game codes to then flip on some kind of market and sell, they're really just beggars. Only when they kind of promise something, I would say that they become a scammer. Like when they promise or use subterfuge or lies more than a beggar would do. Like I've heard people say this, like people say homeless please help when they're begging on the street, and then people think, oh, they're not homeless really. That's just a lie to get them more donations. And of course the response to that though is, if they're desperate enough to lie on a sign on the street, then they've certainly got problems and probably need some kind of help. Maybe it's not financial help, but something. Let's see. I have like one more new card. At some point I got this. This is from the Boomsday Project, so why is this considered a wild card? That's weird. Glitchy game. Right. Now, on the European account, I most definitely didn't do the solo adventure, and I don't think it's worth my time to ever do it. I'm just kind of worried that we may get daily quests at some point that tell us we have to play the puzzles, and if that's the case, then I'll play them and get card packs. It wouldn't be terrible. It's kind of easy to play just the first tier puzzles over and over again. So if it says like win 4 puzzles, I could probably do that in less than 10 minutes. Let's see, I need to win a Shaman or a Warlock game, so let's try Warlock. Let's see, I'm still scrolling down this article. Yeah, this article is barely like, well, it's about 8 sentences, none of which really, I think, make a paragraph.
Your soul shall be mine.
Yeah, people are trying to get free games. As a YouTuber, as a video game critic, I have been offered one free game from a developer directly, and I didn't even see the message, and I'm at this point I would turn down any offer like that, or I'd probably turn it down. I don't know. If somebody was going to give me day one access to a deluxe edition of a $60 game, I might say yes, but then I have to go through all the disclosures and the FCC and FTC rules and regulations, and see, that's just not, I think, interesting enough to me to do that. Let's see.
Why do you call?
Some copies of all the demons you control. Interesting. So yeah,
Beetleberries, my favorite.
I certainly wouldn't spend my day. I wouldn't spend any time. As somebody who's perpetually falling behind on making content, spending time trying to get free games seems like it's a crazy idea. I guess I really don't have anything else to say with that, though, so let's close that article. I'm probably doing a bit of a sleepy cast at this point. See, ideally, I want to try to stay awake. I woke up maybe around 5 in the morning. I'd like to stay awake now till like 10. I'd like to get to a normal sleep schedule and sleep a full night all the way through. Let's see. This one can't be played with this one, so I will do this and this, and then
As you
in
command.
attack again. Let's see. Your Gamer has an article. Monument Valley is going to be a film of sorts. The mobile game Monument Valley is going to be turned into a movie of sorts. And Patrick Osborne is at the helm. A lot of these, I think, though, are... I think what happened is this spec season happened, and a lot of people optioned speculation scripts of video games, and video game companies more and more are getting into this realm of let's put out speculation scripts of let's see, do I have enough here to do anything here? Kind of have to play as much as possible. Give all demons in your hand +1/+1.
Everyone has demons.
Why do you call?
There we go. I played Monument Valley on my phone. I thought it was pretty good. I feel like there was a sequel to Monument Valley. Standalone sequel Monument Valley 2 was released later that year and told the story of two characters, Ro and her daughter.
What to do?
The thing though is Monument Valley really isn't like a super long game with a super amazing story, so it's almost like the artistic style is kind of the only thing that you could take from that, and maybe you're taking a simplistic story from that. The person, Patrick Osborne, worked on a Disney movie called Feast, which seems like it's a dog that eats everything in sight. Which, yeah, okay. Oh, I played that totally wrong. I should have killed this here. Powered this up. And then kill that. Yes. Moving on though. Yeah, somebody optioned another video game. Gamasutra has an article. How 6 Ages builds a game around the power of myth. This sounds like an advertisement for a game called 6 Ages, which looks like it's a text-based game. It's flat. It looks very much like you were just reading a kid's book with animation. But yeah, it seems like it's mostly text.
So many possibilities.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like 6 Ages has a Steam link or anything according to this article. It looks like it's a pretty old game too, so this might be from quite a while ago. Let's see. We can do this, and we can do this.
I'll get right on it.
Easy pickings.
Kill. Draw a card. Okay. Moving on. Gamasutra has an article. Get a job. Cold Iron Studios is hiring a senior content designer for an Alien game. And this job would be in San Jose, California. Let's close that. And we're ignoring games that look good on Steam. Okay, here's this article. The end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all
so many possibilities. Unleash me.
And
Why me?
and that. And in return. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Steam Play update makes Windows-only games playable on Linux. Valve rolls out new open-source compatibility tool Proton, complete with Vulkan support. Linux users are now able to play more Steam games that were previously only playable on Windows. I recently looked at a video editing software that you can get the Steam edition for. And oddly, it didn't have Mac support, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, that definitely should have Mac support on that. Deal 5 damage, gain 5 armor.
Fails. Try this time.
Here we go. What was that? Summon all copies of all demons in your hand. Neither one of those are demons. Darn it.
Your soul is mine.
We're still in a kind of good position. Let's see. Valve has detailed the latest update for Steam Play, its system that enables users of the marketplace to access their purchase across Windows, Mac, and Linux. While more than 3,000 titles do have official Linux support, the firm is keen to expand this to more of its inventory. Let's see. Draw 3 cards at the end of your turn, discard them. Actually, this wouldn't be too bad. Okay. Taunt.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
Taunt. That. And
Crystallize.
keep
Your soul is mine.
attacking.
Your soul is mine.
In turn.
Almost out of time.
Let's see. The new Steam Play update has been released in beta and includes a compatibility tool called Proton, which enables Windows-only games to run on Linux. The tool itself is based on a similar product called Wine and is fully open source, available on GitHub. DirectX 11 and 12 are now handled by the Vulkan API, and Proton will automatically recognize all Steam-supported controllers. So that converts having to run DirectX 11 or 12. However, that's no guarantee of it running smoothly or correctly, certainly. Because, heck, half the games probably didn't run smoothly in the first place. Be nice if I get a legendary. Didn't even get an epic. I've been getting all these epic cards.
Golden common.
I'll take a golden common, I guess. More cards to go into the dust pile. And see, one of those was actually new. Let's see what it is. It's a golden. And see, I don't think I'm supposed to be holding on to goldens in this account, but at some point I did run into golden cards. Like I have a collection here, like this golden legendary. Yeah, I don't see a reason why I'd want to get rid of that, but I will disenchant this. Like, I don't even know. I'll disenchant that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just change my opinion at this point. I know that on the European account that there's still a lot of missing cards. Like my collection, just of even classic sets, is still at 12 pages. So I'd like to see this sped up and crafted. Of course, if I just looked at all cards that were missing, I'm still probably, yeah, 137 pages. Alright. So yeah, a lot there. What else do we need? We played Warlock, let's play Shaman and see if we can get some elementals. This would be Token Shaman, ranked play. Just play, yeah. It's interesting, since the new expansion, I really haven't even had any thought of building any more decks. Moving on with this article, for developers, Valve advises that if they already are working on Linux support or use a compatibility engine, they should just carry on as planned. If the studio was not planning to release on Linux, making their game work natively with Vulkan should open the option for it to work via the new Steam Play update. This almost feels like at some point they're going to have to get into the realm of verification though. Let's see. There are 27 games that are officially supported by the beta version of this update. Yeah, 27. Ranging from the indie title like Doki Doki Literature Club, which is probably a super easy game to have ported, but also a potential game that would have just been potentially not worth the effort to port. And Into the Breach, to the AAA games like Taken 7, which expecting, I think that's Bandai Namco that makes the Tekken series, expecting a Japanese company to support Linux when they can barely even support PC correctly, is asking too much. As well as classic titles like the first Doom games and the 2005 Star Wars Battlefront 2. There are even virtual reality titles on the list that include Beat Saber and Doom VFR. Valve notes that Proton can be used to play Windows-only games on Linux even if they're not marked as, I suppose that's what it's supposed to be, it's marked, but they misspelled it as market, M-A-R-K-T. Jeez, you can't just run a spell checker. You really can't. There's more to writing than just running a spell checker and having it automatically correct to the word it thinks it is. Even if they're not, I'll correct it to marked as compatible by enabling Steam Play for all games, users will also be able to vote for titles they want added to Steam Play using their wishlist. The company does note that some titles using anti-cheat system or complex DRM will be difficult or even impossible to support. And I wouldn't be surprised if a considerable amount of what's going on here relates to desires to have the let's see what I want to do. A desire to have their next card game, Artifact, supported more on Linux, and thus if it runs on Linux, maybe it will also run on Android a little bit easier too, although there's big differences there. But I wouldn't be surprised if there definitely is reason connected to Artifact that they're continuing to do that. But also they just have kind of committed, sort of committed, not done a lot of work to having, let's see, summon 3 microbots, summon 2/2 with rush. Okay. When I play this, shall we make a storm? And let's get rid of this. Let's see. Well, this is just gonna not work. Moving on, Gamer Sutra has an article. Starbreeze sets sales record in a quarter devoid of new releases. Starbreeze has shared a financial report detailing how the first half of the company's fiscal year, specifically that set in quarter 2, set sales records during 2018 despite not launching a single new game during those 3-month periods. This is probably, I would guess, some kind of accounting manipulation, because that seems highly unlikely. Starbreeze's Dead by Daylight and Payday series, and let's see, the Starbreeze is also trying to be a publisher of a few other games, and a couple of other companies have taken them up on that offer, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly.
Put this apple on your head.
Well, that's a financial article anyway, so let's just ignore Gamma Sutra article. Okay, we've got a game on Steam called Slay the Dragon. I've seen like 3 or 4 games like this that look really blocky, really bad. I don't know if this is some new developer who's decided to put out a bunch of bad games, or if it's just somehow there was some coordination or coincidence going on. Let's see. We need to eliminate some things. And this. And that. FT overload. Summon a couple with rush.
There is little time.
Interesting, when this one summons minions, it starts on the right side instead of on the left side. Oh man, I missed an opportunity to attack. Took too long. Let's see, Your Gamer has an article. Grandia, Grandia 1 and 2 remasters coming to the Nintendo Switch. I think we've already talked about this.
Put this apple on your head.
Let's see. Grandia was released on the original PlayStation and Sega Saturn. Does this article have actual dates or anything? Yeah, the first game got added to Steam in a combo with Grandia 1 and 2, and they're bringing it to the Switch. And no release date from that. Let's see, PC Gamer has an article. Gabe Newell comes to Dota 2 in a wonderful deadpan voice pack. Let's see. And the quote here is, please email me at gaben@valvesoftware.com and let me know about your rampage. I believe Gaben at Valve Software is an email that probably doesn't go directly to Gabe Newell, but it goes somewhere.
Thunderstruck.
Let's see. Take the victory. So, So Gabe Newell, instead of doing his job as the guy in charge of Valve, spent apparently some time recording Dota 2 voice packs, which, I mean, fair enough. It's selling for like $10, and Dota 2 is really really popular, so I kind of get it. Like, but also it seems like the type of thing a manager would do because they don't have enough work to actually work on. And Gabe Newell, if he needs help finding work that he needs to work on, I think there's a long list of problems with Valve and its just corporate structure and its lack of having any kind of scheduling or anything, getting any products to release. There we go. So yeah, there's a awful 3D looking game on Steam called Fatal Hour Petroleum. Hey, we made it to rank 20. So we can close that. I'm not anywhere close to having all the news done, but it has been another hour. And ideally, I would like to get all the news done for Monday. Still need to play 2 more elementals. Let's see, is that the only other thing I need to do is 2 more elementals? Alright, yep. So it's been another hour. This is a good point to end the recording. Let's see, somebody's on the chat. Let's see, somebody at 1:30, about 10 minutes ago says, oh man, feels bad, man. Which I don't know how to really respond to that. But I'll wrap up this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game or a gift card. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.